Hello, my name is Hongmei Liu. I will talk about accounting changes worldwide due to this crisis. As our team member mentioned, Ripple 105 made a headline following the collapse of Lehman Brothers. U.S. rule makers updated accounting rules on repurchase agreement to close this accounting loophole that was used to hide debt. FASB used ASU number 2011-03, that is transfers and serving reconsideration of effective control for repurchase agreement. The second is regulatory capital and capital adequacy. One of the key changes introduced by Basel III. Actually, these changes is in European. The Basel III was improved the quality and quantity of capital. Although overall capital remained at 8% of risk-weighted assets, the common equity and capital ratios were increased to 4.5% and 6% respectively. Basel III also introduced a series of capital buffers, which are extra layers of capital above the minimum capital requirements. The capital conservation buffer has been set at 2.5%. In acknowledgement of this fact that the models used to risk weight assets may not always assess risk appropriately, Basel III also introduced a backstop measure called the leverage ratio, which is the ratio of common equity and capital in balance sheet exposure. A third is business model analysis. After reforms due to this crisis, standard business model disclosure should include performance indicators, risk, the long-term variability statement, and their remuneration. Also, accounting policies should be appropriate to the business model. New reforms provide companies with an opportunity to set out how, why, and who they create values. The term threats to the model and long-term variabilities at the heart of a corporation report. Then we moved to the remuneration. The crisis leads directly to intense public attention of executive remuneration and incentive arrangement, largely due to the considerations that remuneration arrangement encourage the executive risk-taking, which leads to the crisis. Since then, we have seen incentive reform and increasing body of regulation. In UK, the FSA published the original remuneration code on January 1st, 2010, setting out the standard firms were required to meet when setting pay and bonus. Since then, there have been ongoing changes at the domestic and European level. The aim of the code is to ensure greater alignment between risk and individual reward, discourage executive risk-taking, and ensure that remuneration policy and practice are consistent with effective risk management. There are restrictions regarding bonus, guarantees, termination payment, and in particular, the bonus cap. There are further requirements in relation to deferral and clawback. Firms are required to make reasonable efforts to recover remuneration if there is a reasonable evidence of misbehavior, material errors, or material failure of risk management. Moreover, companies are required to explain how they have applied them in their annual report. The fifth is fair value accounting and convergence to financial service institution. Despite the higher one-time IFRS conversion-related cost, the new converged accounting standard are expected to improve transparency, consistency, and comparabilities. For investment management firms, the global accounting convergence towards IFRS expected to reap indirect benefits in the form of easier comparable of firms on a global scale and better procedures to value complex financial products. The last is a business indication for financial service institution. Modify the IT system to enable accounting convergence, and the need for both the compliance system to abide by certain new accounting regulations. Now let me do the summary part. After we introduce the Lehman Brothers introduction and history, accounting issue and scandal involved. Also introduce the outcome of this accounting issue and scandal. Now it is the conclusion about the accounting changes of this outcome. We can see Lehman Brothers bankruptcy kicked off the 2018 financial crisis, and the following thing is the recession, and afterward we can see there's numerous changes in accounting field. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Thank you. Bye.